Last time we were together, we talked about the mistakes that I see veterans making when they're starting their claim journey. And one of the biggest ones really is filing before your evidence is actually ready. Today, I want to slow down and walk through what getting your evidence ready really looks like. Because nobody hands you a manual for this, and most veterans I've met figured out the hard way after 1, 2, or 3 bad decisions come back. So let's fix that. Let's talk about how to actually organize your evidence before you file. Here's the part that the VA doesn't really explain clearly. Your claim is only as strong as what's sitting in your file. Not what you remember, not what you know happened, what's actually documented, connected, and sitting in front of the person making that decision, i.e. the rater. That means the work you do before you file, the gathering, organizing, connecting the dots, matters just as much as the claim itself. Maybe, in my opinion, even more. This is not about gaming the system again. This is about understanding the system that you're already inside. I want to give you a simple way to think about this, because evidence sounds overwhelming until you break down what it is. Pretty much everything you need is going to fall into one of 3 buckets, or all 3 buckets. Bucket 1, service records. This is anything that shows what happened during your time in service. Any incidents, injuries, exposures, treatment, med records, anything documented at the time you were serving. If it's not in your service record, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It just means that you're going to need to find other ways to establish it. And we'll get to that. Bucket 2 is medical evidence. This is anything that shows your current condition, your current diagnoses, current treatment notes, current test results, statements from your medical providers now. This bucket answers the question, what is happening with the veteran right now? Bucket 3 is the connection or the nexus. This is the bucket most veterans forget about, and it's the one that causes the most denials that I've ever seen. It's not enough to show something happened when you were in service and separately show that you have a condition. You need something that ties those 2 things completely together. Sometimes it's a doctor's opinion. Sometimes it's a clear timeline. Sometimes it's a statement from you, from your family, coworkers, someone who served alongside you. All of that helps fill in gaps. If you only focus on buckets 1 and 2 and you skip bucket 3, I can pretty much almost guarantee you your claim's going to fall apart. So one of the simplest, most useful things that you can do, and it costs nothing, is to build a timeline. Not a fancy timeline, just a simple, honest record. When did something happen? When did the symptoms start? When did you first start seek treatment? And how has it changed since then? Has it gotten worse? Here's where I've seen some veterans accidentally hurt themselves. I did this. I waited years until I wrote any of this down. And by the time I got to filing, the lines were blurred. The timeline I built was screwed up. So if you can build one out that really has it in place, that can be one of the best pieces of evidence you have. Doesn't replace medical records, but it gives everything else good context. A lot of veterans don't realize that a written statement also from you, a spouse, a family member, a friend, someone who served with you, someone you work with, someone you interact with all the time, can carry real weight. Not because it's a substitute for medical evidence, it's not, but because it fills in the human side of the story that records alone can't always capture. What does this person's affected life look like? If a spouse or partner has watched a condition change your daily life over the years, that observation is going to matter a lot. If someone who served with you remembers an incident that may or may not have gotten it into the formal record, we've all never had those, that account's going to matter. These statements are going to help you build a connection that's going to lead to a solid bucket 3. The key is specifics. Vague statements like, man, it's been hard, that doesn't carry much weight. Specific, detailed statements, what changed, when, what it looks like day to day, those details carry a lot further for you. Having a folder full of documents isn't the same as having an organized evidence flocker. Here's a simple structure that works for most people, okay? One section is for your service records. One section is for your medical evidence, sorted by date, most recent to last. One is statements. Make sure you get some statements, put them all together, right? Get those statements, get your records, get your medical records, because the reviewer that sees this is going to be able to have to draw a picture of what's going on with you. And a messy file is going to leave gaps, and gaps are where people twist their ankle. I want to be clear about something. This is not building the perfect case or manufacturing some type of narrative. This is about making sure the truth of what happened to you is actually visible in the file cleanly and in a way that connects the dots that the VA needs to see them. What you say at your exam really does matter, but what the evidence actually says matters even more. So the work you do here before you ever file could be the most important work you have to do in the entire process. Before you file, take the time to gather what you have across all 3 buckets. Build a timeline while the details are fresh in your mind. Get specific statements from people who have seen the impact firsthand, and then organize it in a way that tells a clear, connected story, not just a piece of paperwork here, 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 here. Get this part right, and everything downstream, the exam, the decision, the rating, you have a much better chance. You have a much better foundation when you do that. Hey, thanks for watching. If you got something out of this video, please like, share, and subscribe. That helps me get the word out to more and more veterans. I really appreciate you taking the time to view all of this. Take care of one another. See you in the next one.